What we have today is an embarrassing dereliction of public responsibility. And the word embarrassing doesn't capture the grave harm that is coming from members of this body deciding to abuse the advise and consent obligation that this body has, this Senate has under our Constitution, to abuse it and turn it into attack both on the judiciary and upon the executive branch. Today, in this room, it's an attack on the executive branch, to say we are going to use advise and consent to undermine the other co-equal branch, the executive branch of the United States government. Just a few days ago, we had a situation where we couldn't get a vote on a judge for the D.C. Circuit, and then it was an attack on the judicial branch. And it wasn't just isolated incidents, a coordinated strategy playing out at the committee level and on the floor to undermine the bipartisan or nonpartisan nature of the judiciary and to damage and delay the president because he happens to come from a different party than the members who are missing in this room today. I am deeply, deeply disturbed by this strategy of obstruction. On the floor of the Senate, we are seeing this strategy continued, and I have no doubt that after our nominee passes out of this committee, that there will be obstruction on the floor as well, trying to prevent an up or down vote on the nominee. We had the first ever filibuster of a defense secretary, the first ever in the history of the United States of America, and ironically, that nominee was a former Republican senator. But it was more about attacking and undermining a newly elected president from leading our nation and taking on the serious issues than it was about who the nominee was. And today, we have an extraordinarily qualified nominee. Again, it's not about the nominee, it's about undermining the ability of the executive branch to do what is required under the law for clean air and clean water. We as a Senate, as a body, are failing to meet our responsibilities of advise and consent under Constitution. And that failure is unacceptable, and therefore we need to have that conversation among our members about how we are going to change how the Senate works, because the courtesy that has been extended has now become a courtesy abused to the extent that it is a complete dereliction of responsibility and an unacceptable attack on other branches of the government. So I look forward to working with the chair and my colleagues as we take on this very important issue so that the Senate, once considered a great deliberative body, can at least become a functioning body. Thank you, Madam Chair.